Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. How y'all doing this Good Friday? We gonna cook. I have a clip from Kendra G again. Every once and again, her clips are particularly interesting. Usually they are run of the mill, it's the same old, but every once and again, her clips are really, really interesting. And this is one such clip. And I see y'all in here talking about victims. Y'all ain't sad for the sisterhood. Y'all ain't crying tears of blood for the sisterhood. Y'all feel sorry? No, we not boo-hooing for the sisterhood. Y'all got to cry for the sisterhood now. Y'all got to cry for these hyenas and cry for me. Y'all got to live for me, live for me. What was you said you die for me, cry for me, cry for me. You got to cry for me. Y'all feel sorry? I don't either. But we're going to really get into it. Okay. We are actually going to get into this. So, for as much as Kendra G wants to distance herself from Kevin Samuels, I mean, she's becoming more and more the person that's holding them accountable when they call in. You know what? I decided that I am going to do a call-in show. There are some changes that I needed to make in terms of programs. I'm not going to go back to OBS just because having a Mac makes it necessary to have an audio interface that is basically a legacy now. And as the Mac's operating system is upgraded, I can't use OBS. So we're on StreamYards for now. I may go to Ecamm, since Ecamm is pretty much designed for Macs. I may go to Ecamm. I may do a few test live streams at some point in the upcoming couple of weeks just to see if I can do Ecamm, because I miss using my Stream Deck and things of that nature. But I want to do these things in preparation for being able to handle call-ins seamlessly. And without any sort of unnecessary technical issues. Bella says you switched from OBS to far easier functionality on Mac. Exactly. On PC, OBS is gold. OBS is gold on PC. On Mac, it's not quite gold. So without further ado, I'm going to allow the clip to play through. And then we're going to come back to it. Y'all know I always make that promise, and then I always cut the clip short, and I say what I gotta say because it be time to cook though. Yes to the call-ins. Y'all been telling me y'all wanted call-ins that style, that Kendra G kind of KS kind of style, because panels is a no. Panels is a no. So I have to stick my toe in that water just to see if that's a water that I can stick my toe into. Because women tuned in to Kevin because Kevin is a man, right? Kevin was a man giving them that kind of advice. And even though they fought him tooth and nail about it, he was a man. And women seek male approval and validations. Kendra's getting the call because she is running a dating show. And so that gives them a reason to call into her. I'm neither a man nor am I running a dating show. So I have to see if that's something that I can stick my toe into because I found my lane. So it's I will have to see if that's a lane that we can go into because I'm not opening the line for debating, but we will talk about a woman's value on the dating market. So it's something that I've been waffling a little bit back and forth for whether or not I wanted to do a call-in show. But in any case, let's go to Kendra G. Here we go.
Relationship. I've never been in one.
You're 28 years old?
Yeah.
Are you a virgin?
No.
Why you never been in a relationship?
I feel like most of the men that I meet, they're like emotionally unavailable, not ready to commit, or they're married. Like, just I run into like trifling men, Kendra.
Well, why are you having sex with trifling men?
Right. Well,
I know I said I wasn't going to say nothing. But Kendra just asked the $64 million question. This woman, the first thing I want y'all to understand is that this woman is 28. We're going to talk about the hypocrisies of Black women. This woman says she is 28 and has never been in any sort of real relationship. How did you get? We're going to talk about that thought culture and that whole phase, because how you get to 28 years old without ever having any sort of real relationship. Now, this would be the same chick that run around talking about what men do because she fixed her mouth. The first thing that she fixed her mouth to do was talk about what the men were and what they were not. That's the first thing she fixed her mouth to do. I meet trifling men. Okay, so if they trifling, why you letting them clap cheeks then? Why you letting them glaze buns then? Since they trifling, if the men are married and they trifling and they don't do this and they don't do that, we ain't gonna talk about what you doing and not doing. Then why are they able to clap cheeks? Why do they have access to cheeks? Why? Let's go.
And why are you having sex with men who won't commit with you?
that's a good question. I need to ask myself.
Yeah, I think all women need to start asking themselves that question. Well, I've been talking about this a lot. Say,
it's like at first they're not like that, It's like after a while.
I can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. Listen. Thank you so much, Damien. Said we'd definitely like to see you and Danica, Dope Discussions, do a show together. We've done show together before. You know what? It might do to run a, you know what? Never mind. But thank you for kicking off the contributions, Damien. Listen, I'm not able to do it. I'm not able to let her talk foolishness because she fixed her mouth right back again to say what the men something about the men. They're not like that at first, but what are you at first? Oh, Lord. Okay. All right.
Yeah, after you have sex with him, maybe. Maybe he's nice because he wants to have sex with you. So he's probably a little bit there, calls you a little bit, takes you out, really gives you the attention. And then does he switch up after you guys have sex potentially?
Not always after we have sex. Like, I just feel like I've been in like a lot of situationships.
Well, that's on you because you keep allowing yourself to have sex without a commitment.
You're right. All right.
I mean, it's always listen, and I don't wish rape ever on any woman. So I just say that as in the drastic sense of unless you are being raped, you are participating in a sexual activity willingly. So decide what you want before you do it. And situations exist because I mean you're an attractive woman. If a man knows he can have sex with you and you don't have a requirement of being his girlfriend, glory be to God. It's the man's world. This is why it's a man's world. It's the women's fault. You beautiful women are out here allowing these men to have sex with you with no relationship requirements, and then y'all wonder why he don't want a relationship. Let me ask you a question. If you went into a store and everything was free, you go into the store, every single thing is free, would you go to the cash register and say, hey, can I buy this?
No.
Exactly. So if everybody giving up vagina for free, why should a man buy it?
No. You're right. You're right, Kendra. I hear you.
Think about that for a second, ladies.
No,
vagina is now free. There ain't no requirements. Y'all just giving it out. So why the hell should a man go and pay for it? That would be stupid. So if y'all want the game to change, women, you change the game and start having some standards and start learning, because the problem is this. The world got smaller via my show, the internet. So now you could be in San Diego, and before your dating pool was the men in your city. Now the dating pool could be a guy in New York, a guy in Atlanta, a guy in Houston because of social media. Usually that guy is attractive, has money. He got to have something, right? You got to have enough means to travel. This man is living in heaven because beautiful women are having sex with men without requiring relationships and standards. And it makes no sense for men to buy shit because it's all free.
You're right. You are right.
And let me say this to you, ladies, because I keep saying this and I want you to be prepared. When you start requiring what you want, you are going to lose some of the men. You are going to potentially have lonely moments. Yes, you will. So if you don't want to lose the man and you don't want to go through lonely moments because of it, then keep doing what you're doing, but don't complain about it. Don't complain about the consequences that come with it. Sometimes you might have to sit your ass down for a couple of months because you might not meet the men that are willing to sit down and really be with you. But I keep trying to tell y'all, you got two dating pools. You got the pool of the men that will have sex with you, and you got the pool of the men that will be in a relationship with you. And you got to decipher which is which and which one you really want.
You're right.
When was your last relationship?
Now, she was speaking straight facts. Kendra, stop playing like you don't agree with Kevin, because that was right out of Kevin's playbook. And I'm not saying she went and copied Kevin as in she went to go and get a question he would ask. It's just a natural question. It's just a question that would come up logically in regards to this conversation. Okay? Thank you, Chanos, at Thot Culture strips away the vetting process. And it does so much more than that. And thank you, 39 Dina, for your contribution as well. Today, I wanted to talk about Black women being victims of thought culture. This is a self-inflicted wound. You're victims of a culture that you celebrated, that you continue to celebrate. You are victims of a culture that you allowed to be given to you, and then you therefore propagated it because you thought that there was a freedom in it. You didn't mind. There was a point, which is why thought culture and whole culture is what it is. There was a time when you felt the freedom of thought culture. Now, what is this freedom that I'm talking about? The freedom of not having to be under a man's covering and therefore not being under a man's system, order, and structure. You didn't want to be under this covering because the covering is his system, order, and structure. You didn't want to be under things like leadership. Okay? You didn't want to be under these things because being under these things meant rules and regulations. It meant obedience and submission. It meant that you needed to be on this man's program and you were unable to run buck wild in your life. Both your sexual life and your non-sexual life could not be buck wild. It needed to be under the leadership and under the guidance of your husbands. So you accepted women's live sexual liberation and thought culture and whole culture because it freed you from having to be under his SOS. The part that you stupidly didn't understand was that it freed him from having to give it to you. Oh. 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 It not only freed you from having to be under it because we're just having sex and hooking up without the relationship part. So without the relationship part, I don't got to do what you say, because what is a hyena's favorite thing to tell a man when he tried to give her SOS? Boop, you ain't none of my husband. You ain't none of my daddy. Who you think you is? You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me what to do. So, okay, fair enough. Because, see, y'all put that pressure. Because even though there was a such thing as casual sex, there was never a such thing as sex without strings attached. See, that's what y'all was trying to get to. There's always a string. There's always a string. Everybody was trying to get away from the responsibility that go with sex. And y'all was just trying to have free sex. Okay. But the men, that's a part of their nature, is to give you SOS. So they didn't necessarily immediately take that away from you. Even if you weren't necessarily in a relationship, a man would still try to cover you in some small way. He would try to give you advices, or he would try to tell you a little something. He would see something going on in your life. He try to give you problem solving. No, he ain't your man or whatever. But, hey, I see that such and such is going on. You might want to check out blah, blah, blah to solve that. And you don't want nothing. Let me get to these super chats. Thank you, Vietnamese said the bigger problem is that these modern women are almost all not wife material. Even if she has standards of a relationship, she doesn't hold herself to the standards of wifedom. And that's the other problem. Thank you, Alistair said thought culture is destroying Black women. Definitely. Thank you, Richie D said thank you for your perspective and all the time you have taken out to try to unveil some of this foolishness we have in our community. All my love and support goes to you, sister. Thank you so much. Thank you for your super sticker, Joker. And thank you, Stardust. And nothing is free in this world. Not at all. Everything costs something. Everything costs something. Somebody put my LA for Life is asking where to get my book. Somebody put crimsoncure.com. That's where to get the physical copy of the book. That's going to change eventually. Maybe. But for right now, you definitely can get a physical copy of my book for those of you, because I haven't advertised it in a while for a reason. But this is the book that he's referring to. crimsoncure.com. You can make an order for them and you will receive the physical actual book, Reclaiming the Black Feminine, The Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery. Okay. Thank you so much for asking.
My pleasure.
I ain't talking to you. Siri sure is nosy. Anyway. The reason why I still got this screen up is because I wanted to look at some of these comments. See, this one said, I've barely been in a relationship at 37. You done made it almost to 40. Barely in a relationship. There was this one right here. So Kendra, I understand it's your show and you can do what you want, but please have some compassion. I don't see where she didn't have compassion. That's more important than views. This is an accountability dodger. This young lady was already impacted enough by your show and asked that you not make her a highlight. You don't tell nobody what to do with their content. Even you felt bad. Honor that, please. People are struggling enough with mental health as is. These comments might just break her. Please remove this. And somebody said this. Remove what? If y'all keep running away from the truth, heartbreak will never stop. Okay? So I'm going to stop sharing. The accountability dodger. Always the smoke screen, mental health. She ain't having no mental health problem. She thotting and hoeing. And if that's a mental health problem, all y'all crazy. All y'all need to be in a straitjacket if thotting and hoeing is a mental illness. So let's not go down that road that thotting and hoeing is a mental health crisis. Thank you so much. Divine Photo said they want to be 304s during their prime years and later in life have standards and expect men to look past their body counts. Make it make sense. Thank you, Atlanta. Stay focused. Kendra, you wearing that outfit is fire. Thank you so very much. So here is what I really want to get into with this, right? And we only got a little bit before the break. But this is what I really want to get into. Or one of the things. The first thing that I want to get into is Stop listening to black women. And this, who am I talking to? I'm talking to young lionesses. That's number one. I'm talking to y'all. Even some of your older lionesses, I'm talking to y'all. And I'm talking to the brothers. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Stop listening to black women's opinions of black men. Overall. Because the vast majority of these chicks has never experienced a man in a relationship. She's 28, says she never had none. The woman in the comments says she was 37, she never had none. It's not an anomaly. The majority of these females have never experienced a man within the confines of a relationship. So they don't know what men are. They don't know what they not. They don't know what men will do. They don't know what men are capable of doing. They don't know. That's why they got it so backwards about who men are and what men do and what really constitutes a man. Because these chicks have never actually experienced masculinity and manhood outside of a hypersexualized transactional event. These women have never experienced a man outside of a hypersexualized transactional event. They have absolutely zero concept or idea who men really are. They only know men like hoes know men, because they hoeing. Hoes don't have relationships with men. Hoes have transactions with men. So hoes start seeing the rawest part of male nature. And the rawest parts of male nature is not very flattering. Okay? When you start breaking male nature down to its rawest component, without any of his SOS, without any of his compassion, without any of his leadership, without any of his structure, without any of his problem solving, without any of his procreation beyond the bare act, without any of his masculine light, when you start breaking a man down beyond all of that and just get right down to his animalistic nature, it's not cute. Just like female nature not cute, when you break it down well beyond into all of its just primal chaos, it's not nothing pretty about that. Nothing pretty about that. It's not flattering. It's not nice. Nothing nice about it. So stop listening to hoes talk about what men should and should not be doing in a relationship, because they ain't never had none and they can't tell you what it looked like and what it's supposed to be like, because they ain't never did it. How you taking advice from somebody on how to swim that ain't never got into the pool yet? They sitting over there twiddling their toe in the shallows, talking about, that ain't how it's supposed to feel when you put your head under the water. They scared of putting their head under the water. They ain't never did that. You got Mia Khalifa, little hoish behind, talking about what a woman should have and what she should do, and leave these men. You are a failed hoe. I'm gonna need you to take several seats. Thank you, CBP. Said, man, say that, sister. Someone needs to clip this. Definitely. Thank you once again, Joker, for your contribution, sweetheart. We're going to finish the rest of this cook because there are a lot of things that I want to cover in this particular clip. But after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey brothers, I want to tell you about a website called blackmenszone.com. Now, Black Men's Zone is a site that specifically targets black men. It's a place where black men talk about issues that solely affect them. Now, at Black Men's Zone, the topics will range from news to society, sports, technology, business, food and recipes. Some brothers got to cook too. Gaming, and some of your brothers like doing some of that. Health and fitness, got to get your workout on. Music, movies, and many other topics. Now, there's not many forums around these days for black men, and because black men have to create them. Now, this particular website is more of a forum based, something simple, not social media. You can write what you need to write, say what you need to say, get off pretty quick. But if you're interested, brothers, to at least go there, and I want you to check it out, engage in the topics, go to blackmenszone.com, sign up for an account, and get engaged in the conversation.
All right, so you all would want to click the link at the top of the chat, blackmenszone.com, become a part of the conversation or start a conversation. Black Men's Zone is specifically just that. It is a forum specific for black men to talk about a wide range of topics and subjects that interest them, from health to fitness to cooking to technology to all the things that are in a black man's world, which is everything. And it gives them a safer place to be able to speak about those things among one another without interference, without big tech censorship, and without, all of this different judgment. They're just able to have the conversations that men need to have. Think of it almost as a virtual barbershop, a place where men can go and gather and express their thoughts, really without the interruption of women. Okay, so go ahead and sign up to that form, blackmenszone.com. I owe you guys a bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button, bam, bam. You gotta you gotta go ahead and hit the like button, everybody, so that we can really get into this cook. Oh, okay. I see. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely. Thank you, sweetheart. And thank you so much, Tahir. Say I crimson for you out of respect. Thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate you. Once again, thank you so much, Tahir, for your contribution. I definitely appreciate you. So, victims of thought culture. This is why y'all can't get married. And you have exhausted every excuse to not be married. Oh, we don't want to be married. The men aren't commitment minded. We don't want to be slaves to men. Our value is not connected to what men think. Let me start there. Let me start there. Your value ain't nothing but what men think. I'm not talking about your value as a human being. I'm not talking about the value of your soul or anything like that. I'm talking about the value or the lack thereof that you have as a potential wife, as a potential mother, as a helpmate in any man's life. They are the ones that are choosing. You don't get into a relationship unless a man says you're in one. I could not get married until my husband said, I will marry you and make you a married woman. I'll make your wife. I couldn't just be married. To who? To which man? You don't just wake up one day and you know what? I'm going to be married. And then by the end of the day, you marry. Because if y'all could do that, you would. But you can't. And the reason why you can't, the reason why that one is 28, the other one in the comments 37, the other one is a whole bunch of women out here ain't never been in a relationship before, is because your value is in the gutter when it comes to you being a valuable woman. Y'all should have known I was going to come to this chart now. Marriage market value consists of 4 other kinds of value. Today, we're focusing on the sexual market value. This is also the sexual market value focus. I'm gonna need y'all to stop not requiring men to do anything, be anything, give you anything, tell you anything. You don't require it, and then you get mad that they don't give it to you. Listen, let me tell you something, and this is for your lionesses too. A man is not gonna give you nothing that you don't ask him for. Let me repeat that. A man is not going to give you anything that you are not asking him for, because it takes effort for him to give you the things that you need as a woman from him. It takes him a lot of effort to give you that stuff. So if you are constantly telling him you don't want it, you don't need it, and he can keep it, well, then that's just good enough for him, because that's less expenditure of energy to give you something that depletes him so you can benefit from it. So again, no man is about to give you nothing that you did not ask for and that you did not require of him. Had marriage not been a requirement for me to move to New York and do all this other stuff we doing and make all these plans, if marriage had not been a requirement for that, if I hadn't have said nothing about it and he hadn't have said nothing about it, do you think that he would have just said something about that? Because the option is always on the table to not do that and just go into something else. We could just do something else. I could just clap cheeks for a little while and see where it goes. Because even some of your best men, even some of the best men are willing to just come clap your cheeks if that's what you're trying to do. Some of the best, most structured men with their SOS intact and they value system intact and they 4Ps intact, we'll just come glaze your cheeks. I mean, if that's just what you ain't said nothing else. And you are not behaving as if you would like something else to happen. You certainly are not displaying any wifely tendencies or qualities. So I'm not really thinking about wife when I think about you, because you are not displaying any of those qualities that I want in a woman in my life on a consistent basis. But you do got them cheeks though, and I can't come clap them. I clapped it all that boy, just clap. Just you think you at a stadium? You think you at a concert? Be clap so many clapping, so much clapping going on. You think you at a concert, baby? Think you at the championship game? This is the number one way how women lose their value, have lost their complete value. Because you do what that one. I'm going to tell you how you get into her trick bag. I'm going to tell y'all how y'all be getting into that trick bag. It's because you believe your mama and your aunties and your friends when they tell you that the whole phase is something you need to do that's good for you, and that having that so-called whole phase does not affect your ability to be a wife and to have men take you seriously in that regard. That is the biggest lie that your mammy ever told you. Go on out there and experiment and see what's going on and see what you like about these men, girl. Don't let no man lock you down, and you too young to get married. Why you want to get married? You ain't nothing but 22. Go ahead out there and just see what you like. And, because once you get married, that's it. And you can't see, that's the lie. The lie is that you can do a whole phase and then get married after that. See, that was back in the 40s, 50s. See, when folks didn't know you was doing a whole phase. You kept that under wrap. Nobody really know you was a hoe. And if they did figure you was a hoe, all you had to do was move over to the next city, next county, and they don't know you a hoe. And so you could go ahead and get married. That ship has sailed. Okay? The world is very small. Information travels very quickly. And y'all like to post y'all side chick chronicles online. Y'all like to post y'all hoeing online because y'all are proud of it, until a man come check you about being a hoe and how they really see you and how most men see you. All before that, you was proud hoe. Until a man come along and tell you them 50 photos on Instagram you got, all of them is your booty. We don't take that serious. We don't like that. I mean, we'll come clap them cheeks since you displaying them, but we don't want to marry you because we figure, if you show the whole world your booty, what is it for me? I don't want you. If you done made it to 37, 47 years old and ain't no man never chose you for a serious relationship or marriage, we know it's something wrong with you. It's something wrong with you. The trick bag is when you get into that sexual transactional space, you cannot come out of that space. That's the biggest trick. So this is why the saying goes, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, because a hoe is she's consistently in that transactional space. And what do it say over here? What is this transaction? What is this? Promoted today by convincing Black women to widely and collectively participate in activities such as the whole phase, twerking in public, hot girl summers, OnlyFans, being strong, independent, and don't need no man, thought culture, casual sex, one night stands, hookups, high body counts, large numbers of partners, and wanting to be equal to or better than men regarding his perceived promiscuity. The current self-love, abstinent, and celibacy scams are a disingenuous way to deal with past transactional traumas. You cannot unsuck or unride them eggplants. You cannot undo it. Just because you lie to yourself about how many bodies you got, don't stop the bodies that you got. If you got Burr Oak Cemetery behind you, shout out to Burr Oaks. If you got Restville Cemetery behind you, shout out to Restville. You can't unbury them bodies. They back there. Stinking. That's why women that were lionesses tell you don't do that. Don't do that. Don't accumulate them bodies because you gonna have them. They don't go nowhere. So do not run around and just rack up a bunch of bodies, because that significantly destroys your value as a woman. Because men determine your value. Y'all women pushed men into thought culture. The lie is that men wanted thought culture. Women pushed men into thought culture. Men was getting married, and men was getting married because that was how you got access. How you got access to a woman that was on your program and be by your side and drop a bunch of kids for you is you married her. But now he ain't got to do all that. And y'all will let him clap cheeks. You will break down and have kids. You will do everything. You will fight. You will windmill for him. All at the same time telling him you don't want or need his system, order, and structure. And then get mad at him when he don't do it. You tell him repeatedly that you do not want his system, order, and structure, that you do not want his 4 Ps. You do not want his provision. You do not want his problem solving. You do not want his protection. You do not want his procreation. And I mean those things in the truest senses of those words. Thank you, Miss Bella. So this is why you have to show you're a wife before the ring. Exactly. You have to demonstrate wifedom. My husband would never have approached me on courtship, not dating, not hooking up, not, why don't you come to New York for a little bit? Let me break it down. But he ain't step to me like that. And the number one reason he didn't step to me like that is because that is not how I presented. I didn't present that way. And at no point did I tell him I didn't need this out of him. I didn't want his masculine light. That I didn't want his ability to look ahead and prepare things in advance. I never told him that I didn't want him to generate stability in the form of his ideas and his supplies and his food, his finances, and his clothes. I never told him that I didn't want his problem solving. I never told him that I didn't want him to dissect and resolve issues efficiently. I never told him that his problem solving didn't save no time and that it wasted energy and money. I never told him that I need him to leave me in chaos and not peace. I never told him that I didn't want his protection. I never told him that I didn't want the system, order, and structure that he provided in order to make sure that I was protected. And I never told him that I didn't want his procreation, that I didn't want his expressions of love and care and support for me. I never told him that. I never told him that. I never told him I was strong and independent. I never told him I didn't need no man. I never told him, oh, I got it. I never told him that. I never demonstrated to him that I would not submit to him. I never demonstrated that. Before we were married, when he gave me an order, it was an order that I carried out. Didn't tell him, you can't tell me what to do. You ain't none of my husband. And you know what? I never will be because you're already hard-headed. That wasn't nothing but a test. I only told you to do that to see would you do it. I don't need you to do it. I just wanted to see what your response was going to be. And you showed me what it was going to be. So peace out. That's how y'all get out of relationships. That's how you never got into one. She's 28, never got into a relationship because as soon as a man came and said, I'm going to lay down my system, order, and structure, I just want to see if you're going to respond properly. And you don't got the proper response. You don't have a woman's response. You got a hoe's response. You responded to him like a hoe, not like a wife. So therefore, that's how you get put in that category. Y'all be wondering how you get put in the whole category and you didn't have sex with him yet. That's why that 90-day don't work. Oh, we getting into it now. Somebody say hallelujah. This is why that 90 days don't work. This is why that Steve Harvey advice, this is why that don't work. This is why that don't work. Because see, you ain't just hoeing with your body, you're hoeing with your mind. You're hoe-minded. You got a whole spirit. You got a whole spirit in you. Which is why I don't recommend it, but sometimes a lioness can go ahead and give up the box and still get married because she got a wife spirit in her. Like I said, I don't recommend it. But let's be clear and let's be grown. We lionesses in here, but we ain't no poly purebreds either. Y'all running around here with a whole spirit. That's why we talk about the Jezebel spirit. You got a whole spirit in you. That's what the men be seeing, all the whole spirit. It ain't all about whether or not you had sex or not. More so, it's about how you respond when he tries to give you his systems, his order, and his structure as a man. When he tries to give you provision, problem solving, protection, procreation, his order, his leadership, when he demonstrates his selflessness by caring about you and all this kind of, this is prior to a commitment and a marriage. This is probably, he's showing up. See, he is showing up as a husband. That's the other side. See, I didn't just show up. I wasn't the only one. I showed up and presented as a wife. My husband showed up and presented as a husband. He presented himself as a husband. He ain't present himself as an F-19. He ain't present himself like just one, I'm just coming to kick it. I'm just sliding through. No, he did not come at me at all in that energy at all. He came to me like a husband because he wanted to see, was I going to have a wife's response? That's what qualify you or disqualify you from the commitment. When he try to give you the SOS and you don't want it. And you may not say out your mouth, I don't want your SOS, but you react in a way that tells him you don't want it and you don't even respond properly. Because this is how you get disqualified talking about something. He don't tell me what to wear. Why come he don't? He do tell you what to wear. Give you another personal example. Y'all realize that I started wearing a hijab over my wrap. You notice that? You notice that? Who do you think told me to do that? Now, I could have responded like a strong, independent hoe and said, well, I like my bun like this. I like my bun. I don't want to put the little thing on. And you know what? He would have said, oh, okay. Oh. Mm-hmm. But it would have went against it. It would have been a strike. Y'all don't be knowing when y'all be getting strikes. So when he said, you know what? I think you should put the pretty hijab over the bun and like let it drape. Like let it drape. Next day I had it on. And 9 times out of 10, I show up like this. I don't ever really show up with just my bun. I could have responded and told him, you don't tell me what to wear. You're not my husband yet. Do y'all understand? I'm talking to the lionesses. The hoes is already done dug their grave. You're getting disqualified. You're disqualifying yourself. It's not the men's fault that they won't commit. They won't commit because you ain't giving them nothing to commit to. Let's talk about it. Oh. Thank you, Wiggy Wheels. Said, touch your neighbor and say, get that hoe out of you, boy. Turn to your neighbor. Okay? Thank you, El. Said, this lady is preaching to y'all. Y'all better be listening instead of listening to hate. Thank you so much. And thank you, Well B. Said, sis, this is that real sermon, but they ain't ready. Defiant. Hard head as a brick. Head hard as a brick. Most of the time, they will know what you are asking is the correct move, and they won't do it because he asked her to do it. See, all that childish foolishness. Exactly. I'm talking to the lionesses. Just like these women be out here saying, I don't submit to him because he ain't give me nothing to submit to. He won't commit to you because you don't give him nothing to commit to. Y'all, just like Kendra G said, Kitty is free now. Kitty free, kids is free. Everything free. Y'all doing everything without a requirement. And see, it's not just creating some type of whacked out standard. You have to meet standards in order to have standards. So you can't hold nobody to a level of accountability that you can't hold yourself to. That is a rule of thumb. You can never hold somebody to the level of accountability that you would never hold yourself to. So if he got to have something to submit to, then you got to give him something to commit to. Because right now, you're Jezebel and you're a hoe, and you done gave it up to everybody on the block. So it ain't no reason to be loyal to you. Loyal to what? Hoes ain't loyal. Loyal to you for what? You let anybody come clap your cheeks. Girl, if you don't have a seat, ain't nobody trying to come through, you know what I'm saying, and be like, oh, yeah, baby, this, that, and that. I ain't trying to commit nothing to you but this. That's the only commitment you getting. We can solidify that in the contract. That can be consistent, but we ain't finna commit nothing else. Nothing. Because all you worth is for me to slide through whenever the slide through come through. I tap it up real quick. You feel me? I ain't even so much as you're not even worth. Let me tell you something. You're not even worth him trying to make sure that you had the orgasm. He just pounding away until it happened to him. And see, y'all, but he so insensitive. You know, he ain't none of your. Remember that? He ain't none of your husband. Remember that? Do you remember that? He ain't none of your man. Remember that? So he ain't got to be sensitive to you because he ain't none of your man. He ain't got to be catering to your emotions because he ain't none of your man. He ain't got to make sure you get nothing off. Just make sure he getting in, get off, and get out. That ain't got nothing to do Go find you a man and then get into a committed relationship, and then y'all can talk about your feelings and what the sex is you're not getting everything that you need out of the relationship, but you ain't on your man. You a quick sneaky link. I'm coming through here. Don't even talk too much because I'm gonna stop coming through here because you're talking. Y'all don't know how low on the totem pole y'all be getting with this hoeing. Then want to talk about the men just don't want to commit. You didn't give them nothing to commit to. You hoeing. I sound like a Sister Zahira says, Slines wanted to support. It's been tough. Please forgive me. No forgiveness necessary. None necessary, my love. Thank you so much. Thank you, CBP said, what did the great philosopher Chris Brown say? Silly. Thank you again, Damien said, the Most High is giving you that extra heat for this cook. Listen, somebody got the heat. Somebody got the heat. She said one more thing that I'm going to touch on before I get out of here. Not hoeing is lonely. Now, why is not hoeing lonely? Being feminine and being a lioness is lonely. It is F-boy repellent. A lot of these dudes that's on that type of time is not going to want to deal with a feminine woman. He's not going to want to deal with a lioness because we built different and we behave differently. The first problem is that he's not going to understand how to respond to us. F-boys, aka maggles, aka male hyenas, do not know how to respond to lionesses that are in their feminine energy. They don't know. The first time conflict come up, he's going to be confused because a lioness is not going to do all of that rigmarole. We're not going to be hooping and hollering, and we're not going to be cussing and clowning, and we're not going to be going through phones, and we're not going to be inspect the gadget, and we're not trying to figure out where he at and keeping tabs, and we're not doing none of that. And he's going to mistake that for us being not interested in him. He doesn't understand that that's how a woman is supposed to act because he's so accustomed to the hyena in the transaction that a lioness coming through not in the transaction is so incredibly foreign to him. So it's gonna be lonely. You're not going to get the level of attention that Thots and hoes be getting. And it's not going to be the kind of attention that Thots and hoes get. Lionesses get a different attention from a different kind of man. And it tests whether or not you are a lioness for real or are you a chameleon? Are you a lioness or a lion? Okay, y'all finish it for me. Because SOS, the biggest test of whether or not you are a lioness is whether or not you can maintain in a man's system, order, and structure. That's the biggest test. Can you maintain yourself under a man's system, order, and structure? Because for a lioness, it's challenging to do so, but that's also where we're comforted. That is also where we can breathe a sigh of relief. That is where we do what they say rest in your femininity. That's exactly where I was going with it, Mass Man Pro. Y'all know what it is. Lionesses do find system, order, and structure challenging because we, like any woman, we're naturally chaotic, and order restricts chaos. It restricts it. So there are challenges for a lioness within a man's system, order, and structure, no matter what that system, order, and structure is or what it consists of. So there are going to be challenges for her. However, she also understands that this is the best place for her. She don't get no better than that. This is what she needs to be doing. This is what she needs, whether she wants it all the time or not. And she know not to try to tear that up because she actually needs it. Chameleons will tear their families up when they can't take the SOS anymore. That's where all them divorces come from. She'll tear her whole family up because she can't take SOS anymore. She's not happy. Thank you so much, Jeffrey, for your super sticker. Anyway, I wanted to come and talk about that today because that was a really interesting clip that I thought that we needed to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, let me see, because I will forget to look at and see if we had any cash apps. Yes, we did. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Miss Kelly. Thank you, Expansion. Thank you, Mr. Bill. Thank you, Mr. Antonius. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Thank you all so much for your cash apps. Also, I haven't advertised in a while, but it's still that heat that you need. Go to crimsoncure.com where you can pick up your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine. All right. The Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery. It's a beautiful book. It actually has a lot of the diagrams and things like that, as you can see. That's the 10 life values. All of these things in here that actually will help women to kind of come back to what they need to be as women and get out of the lost value system, really. So please go ahead and jump down into the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonite.